how would you describe the sort of phases that an organization that wants to really engage with the ADB goes through?
Well, to start with, it's really helpful when organizations understand what the ADB is. And we're not like a lot of other donors that they might be used to. A local organization might have had money from USAID or DFID or one of the other big donors, but ADB is a development bank, so it works differently. So we lend money to governments for development projects. And so for a local organization to engage with us effectively, they need to understand how that relationship works and how they fit into an ADB government relationship. So once an NGO or a civil society organization understands what the ADB is, how it operates, what its relationship is with the client government, then there's a lot more natural relationship building. So we then, when we're out in the field, when we're designing a project, when we're looking at how we can best meet the needs of the beneficiaries, then we sit down and we say, okay, who are the key stakeholders? How are we going to identify the ways and strategies to alleviate poverty here? And once we take a snapshot, once we understand what the landscape is like, we'll see a lot of civil society players. Some of them will approach us, others we have to reach out to. And we look and we figure out what kind of roles suit that organization for that kind of development project. And sometimes the collaboration is really just brainstorming, sharing ideas, talking about how we can do something effectively, learning from experiences of other organizations who have been on the ground, who have worked in that community, who have worked in that sector, and just taking advantage of their expertise and not making the same mistakes again. So we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to build on what's already out there. And civil society organizations obviously are a great source of local knowledge for the ADB. So once we have that kind of local understanding, then we go to design projects. And the ADB supports a whole range of projects, and some aren't really natural fits for civil society participation. A lot of times the execution of the project requires a contractor to come and do quite a lot of work. And so we look for more of the, again, back to the soft activities, the learning, the community mobilization. So if we have a road project, that would require the services of a large construction firm to come and do the road rehabilitation or construction. But we'd look to CSOs to help us with some of the issues that surround that, like looking at road safety, looking at HIV and AIDS transmission, looking at risks of human trafficking. And we look to a civil society organization to help us work with the community around those issues so that when the road is built by the outside contractor, that the impact on the community is maximized, that the community is able to make sure that they are also benefiting from the road, not just the city at one end or the city at the other or the lorry drivers who are using the road, that it's all those people along the road as well have a benefit.
So is it fair to assume then that once it hits the grant or the contract stage, that is not part of your office's work anymore?
No, that's not true at all, because different projects are designed in different ways. So right now, ADB's engagement with civil society is mainly focused at the design phase, but we're moving more and more towards working with civil society organizations in implementation. So the implementation can take a lot of different forms. Like I just gave the example for the transport. So we're looking at organizations to help us during the actual implementation of the road project. But we could have a civil society organization, for example, providing adult literacy training. Or we could have a civil society organization providing water and sanitation advice and teaching people about washing hands and home sanitation and training them to maximize the benefits of the actual infrastructure of the project. So that would happen after the grant or the loan was already approved. That would happen during the implementation phase. And there's another phase as well, of course, during monitoring and evaluation. A lot of organizations are interested in helping make sure that ADB projects are used effectively, that they go according to plan. And ADB can't have eyes and ears everywhere, so it looks to civil society as a partner in helping to make sure that what's been designed has gone ahead. And dialogue with civil society can help during that monitoring phase can help ensure that projects are delivering what they're set out to deliver.